Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching the channel, What Ted Says, and hopefully you'll stick around and check out more videos on the channel and some of the advice that I give you. But I'm not just some financial guy trying to create a YouTube channel and getting you to watch some stuff. I really feel so much from the experience that I've had and being able to build a fatter wallet, to build a bigger net worth, that I have a lot of advice to impart to you that can help you not make some of the mistakes that I made, and more importantly, not make some of the mistakes that my family made, to help you get to have that fatter wallet and bigger net worth quicker. You know, it's interesting because I didn't really think tons about money as a kid, except I always knew that I was an entrepreneur. My mom used to tell me that I used to sell rocks, literally sell rocks on the stoop that I grew up in my house to try to make some money. When I was 12 years old, my mom carted me around the neighborhood to start my own pet sitting and pet walking service. It was the first way I started to earn an income, and then I got that hunger. I wanted to make money. But I never really thought about how my parents managed money or handled money until tragically my father passed away. And we lived in one of those households where mom didn't ask too many questions about the money, and I guess I didn't really think about my parents and whether they talked about money. I probably talk to my kids too much about money today, but my parents never talked about it. And when my dad died, he basically left my mom in $100,000 of credit card debt. He had no life insurance. He had no 401k. And fortunately, you know, my mom was a school teacher, so if she worked long enough, she was going to be able to have a pension. So it was a real impactful thing in my life and in your life. One of the things to realize is the way that you behave around money and the way that you think about money, there are going to be some of those very, very big events in your life that shape the way that you think and act about money. And so I can always remember growing up on the other side of town as well. Like I lived in a townhouse. We never had a garage. Nobody had a fancy car or any of those things. And everybody on the other side of town where I grew up, they all had detached homes. They all had two-car garages. And so I always dreamed, like one of the big things I dreamed about was like, one day could I actually own a house? Or one day could I have a detached garage? One day could I have these things that it seemed like everybody else had? And so at that moment that my father passed away, I knew that everything was on my back to go make it happen. So where does it start? You know, it starts with me graduating college and living in Section 8 housing. You never want to live in Section 8 housing. And staring at my bedroom and knowing this, what did I have? I basically had a waterbed, I had a drafting table, and I had a cardboard stand, so to speak, where I put my clothes and the other few things that I had. One thing that you need to know in your life when it comes to making money is that you're gonna need a mentor. You may think you're strong enough to do it yourself, but I was fortunate, unbeknownst to me at the time, to have a couple of mentors that would teach me the important things. That you may be motivated to have these things happen in your life. It could be making money, but you've also gotta have discipline. And discipline is really the key skill in life because motivation always wears off. So they taught me how to have this discipline, and they taught me how to have work ethic. They basically told me, if you wanna make it, kid, and make $100,000 a year after 3 years, you've got to work every Saturday, every Sunday. And I started to have those habits that got ingrained in me, and within 3 years, I was making $100,000, and within 5 years, I was making $500,000 a year. So could you imagine being 27 years old, making $500,000 a year, and I made my first million by the time I was the age of 30. Not because I knew more about business, not because I was necessarily the smartest at what I was doing, but all I did every single day is I worked a little bit harder than the person next to me, and I tried to be a student of the business and learn a little bit more than the person next to me. Now, I did get married in the early 90s in 1994, and when you get married, you also marry somebody's money. In this case, my wife didn't have money. She had $40,000 of student debt, so basically we were saddled with all of it. Student debt, hardly making any money, and we scrounged everything that we could to basically buy our first house in 1994. I literally put almost every dollar that I had in the bank to buy a house in Bethesda, Maryland. And that was the start of basically getting a fatter wallet and a bigger net worth. And what I started to apply as I made more money was the pay yourself first rule. And it sounds like a simple, easy rule, but what I learned to do is basically take 20% of everything that I earn, take it right off the top, and live with the rest. Now that seems really simple, but the truth is, there are a lot of things that you have that you don't need. And I started to consciously think about how I was going to build my net worth. First, it started in corporate America, which if you get a job in corporate America, it's great. I was able to make $1 million working for corporate America, but I realized over time as I talked to more and more people that the true wealth in America is majority, it's built by people that actually own a business. So can you imagine that you're making a $700,000, $800,000, $1 million income and then you quit to go back to zero? Who would do that? This kid did. I went back to zero because I basically realized that the way to get to true wealth, big wealth, true financial independence is to put yourself in a position to have unlimited streams of income. And that got me into the business of being an entrepreneur, opening my first business in 2008. I opened another one in 2009, opened another one in 2010. And there are some people out there that collect stamps or coins or comic books. I ended up collecting LLCs. And now today I probably have amassed some 12 or 13 different LLCs, because in order to be able to really create a true big net worth over time, you want to build yourself passive and active streams of income. You want to be able to build both of them. And if you're going to build those streams of income, wouldn't it be great if you own them so you could sell them one day? So I learned how to basically build those businesses, and I learned how to sell those businesses to ultimately create where I am today. The most humbling part about this, and it's interesting, is that I thought somewhere along the way that money would change me, but it hasn't. The reason I do this channel is I've always helped liking more, getting the people around me to be more successful in their lives and build their own net worth. And I think about buying fancy things or stuff like that. I'd be just fine coming in to work every day with sweatpants and a sweatshirt, and that's just about it, because all the money in the world still isn't gonna make you happy. What will make you happy is helping other people do better. And that is the main reason I love doing what I do every day. Because since my father passed away, some 30 years ago, and my mother being a great 5th grade school teacher, what we're doing today on this channel is simply just therapy for me. It's extremely therapeutic because I get to spend every day and teach you things that can help you do better in your life. And at the same time, I get to monetize what I do in my life. That's the beauty of doing what Ted says and all the other ventures I have. So that's the backstory. I'd love to get to know you better as you comment and you tell me more things that you like on this channel, because there are so many things. There hasn't been an investment or a strategy I haven't tried along the way. I plan to share those with you and other tips so you can get that leaner budget, so you can get that fatter wallet, and you can get that bigger net worth. So check out more in the channel in here, whether it comes to doing a budget cleanse or when to sell a stock or even what you should give for a bar mitzvah gift. Check out all those videos or more on my channel. I appreciate you watching the backstory here on What Ted Says.